Look, you know that moment. You open your phone, check your bank account, and for a split second, your heart drops. Because you know you didn't spend that much. But somehow, the number is way lower than you expected. And then you start doing that mental math. Okay, I bought food. I paid for this. Oh, and that subscription. And that thing I didn't really need. And suddenly it hits you. You're not broke because of one big mistake. You're broke because of small habits you barely notice. And that's what we need to talk about. Because here's the thing. Most people don't have a money knowledge problem. They have a money behavior problem. And today, I'm going to break down 5 money habits that if you actually stick to them, it can completely change your life. Part 1. Pay yourself first, not last. Here's what most people do. They earn money, spend what they need, spend what they want, and then maybe save whatever is left. And what's left? Usually, nothing. Now here's what most people don't realize. According to data from sources like the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis, the average personal savings rate often hovers below 5 to 10%. That means out of $1,000 earned, people are saving maybe $50, sometimes less. That's not a saving strategy. That's hoping. The habit, flip the order. You don't save what's left after spending, you spend what's left after saving. Let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. Let's say you make $500 a month. Instead of waiting till the end, you immediately take 10%, that's $50, and move it somewhere you can't easily touch. Now you're living on $450. Why this works? Psychology. This taps into something called Parkinson's law, which basically says, your expenses will always rise to meet your income. So if you give yourself $500 to spend, you'll find a way to spend $500. But if you give yourself $450, you adjust. Now, you might be thinking, but Martin, I don't make enough to save. Look, I get it. But if you don't build the habit at $500, you won't magically build it at $1,000. Because this isn't about income, it's about identity. Part 2, track every dollar. At least once. This is the habit people hate the most. Because it feels restrictive. It feels annoying. But it's also one of the most powerful things you can do. Here's the reality. A study by the National Endowment for Financial Education found that people who track their spending are significantly more likely to stick to financial goals. Why? Because awareness changes behavior. The habit. You don't have to track your money forever. But you do need to track it for at least 30 days. Every expense. Every single one. That coffee, that data bundle, that random snack. Everything. Here's what usually happens. People think they spend $50 on food, $20 on extras. But when they actually track it, it's more like $120 on food, $80 on extras. That's a $130 difference. In 1 month. This is where it gets really interesting. That $130 per month. That's $1,560 per year. And if you invested that with even a modest 8% return, in 10 years, that's over $22,000. From just noticing your spending. Why this works? Psychology. Tracking creates friction. And friction interrupts impulse decisions. It forces your brain to ask, do I actually want this, or am I just bored? Part 3, delay your purchases, the 24-hour rule. Look, most bad financial decisions happen in seconds. But most good financial decisions happen with time. The habit. Any non-essential purchase. Wait 24 hours. That's it. Why this works? Because your brain has 2 systems. The emotional system, fast, impulsive. The rational system, slow, logical. When you see something you want, the emotional system takes over. That's why you feel that urge. But if you wait, you give your rational brain time to catch up. Now here's what most people don't realize. Impulse spending is often tied to emotion, not need. Stress, boredom, comparison. Example, you're scrolling, you see someone with something nice, and suddenly you feel like you need it too. But do you? Or are you just reacting? Now, you might be thinking, but what if I forget about it? Exactly. That's the point.
Part 4. Increase income, but freeze lifestyle. This one might be the most important. Because most people believe, if I just make more money, everything will be fine. But here's the truth. Higher income doesn't fix bad habits. It amplifies them. Here's what usually happens. You go from making $500 to $700. And instead of saving the extra $200, you upgrade your lifestyle. Better food, more spending, more comfort. And suddenly, you're still broke, just at a higher level. The habit. Every time your income increases, you lock your lifestyle and redirect the extra money. Example, you get an extra $200 per month. Instead of spending it, you invest it. Now let's do the math. $200 per month at 8% return. In 5 years, approximately $14,700. In 10 years, approximately $36,600. That's not from working harder. That's from keeping your lifestyle stable. This is where it gets really interesting, because this habit breaks something called lifestyle inflation. And lifestyle inflation is the silent killer of wealth. Part 5. Automate everything you can. Look, willpower is overrated. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. The habit. Automate. Your savings, your investments, your bills. Anything that can be automatic should be. Why? This works. Because every decision you remove is one less chance to fail. Here's what most people don't realize. Consistency beats intensity. Saving $20 automatically every week is better than saving $200 once and then stopping. Example, $20 per week equals $80 per month. At 8% over 10 years, that's over $14,000 from something you barely think about. Psychology behind it. Automation removes emotion, procrastination, decision fatigue. It turns discipline into default behavior. The bigger truth. Here's the truth. You don't build wealth with one big decision. You build it with small habits, repeated consistently. And the problem is, bad habits feel easy, justified, invisible, while good habits feel slow, boring, unnecessary at first. But over time, they flip. Let me show you something simple. If you improve your financial behavior by just 1% each day, after a year, you're not 365% better. You're 37 times better. That's the power of compounding. Not just in money, but in behavior. So next time you check your bank account and feel that stress, don't panic. Don't blame your income. Look at your habits. Start simple. Save first. Track your money. Delay purchases. Control lifestyle inflation. Automate everything. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. And look, if even one of these habits clicked for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Because this channel is all about helping you think differently about money, so you can actually change your life. And I'll see you in the next one.